Hello Skin Integrative users, my name is Vivian Shi and I'm a board-certified dermatologist. My area of interest is in eczema and skin moisturization. As you may know, October is Eczema Awareness Month and I'm really honored to be asked by the Skin Integrative team to share some of my experiences in treating eczema. And over the past month, we received a bunch of really good questions about eczema from users all over the world, and I want to thank you all for your interest. And here I've chose a few questions that I think are very high yield to discuss with our eczema community. Let's see, so the first question I want to discuss is what is eczema and what causes it? So eczema is also known as atopic dermatitis. It is a skin condition where the person gets red, itchy, and dry skin caused by skin inflammation. It's one of the most common skin conditions worldwide, and up to 20% of kids will get that. And some adults can get it too. Even though the eczema is one of the most common skin diseases, very little is still known about its cause. Doctors and scientists are still in the infancy of understanding what causes eczema. That said, currently eczema is thought to be triggered by a combination of factors. The first factor is that the immune system is hyperactive and overreacts to allergic chemicals and microbes that our skin comes in contact with. This kind of feeds into the hygiene theory where over the past several decades, we're living in a very clean environment during our childhood, and we no longer are exposed to the infections that people back in the hunter-gatherer days did. So our immune system hasn't really seen any of the allergens and microbes, and it becomes hyperactive to the normal day-to-day molecules that we come into contact with. The second cause of eczema is genetics. Our skin forms a natural protective barrier from the insults from the environment. Some people with eczema are genetically unable to make a protein called filaggrin and other building blocks to form the skin natural protective barrier. So when this barrier is not working, our skin kind of becomes leaky and water evaporates out and allergens and infectious agents kind of go in. The skin of eczema people are genetically also lack proteins that help us fight skin infections. So their skin is more prone to infection by bacteria, yeast, and even viruses. And the end result is dry, itchy skin that gets infected easily. The final component that causes eczema is environmental triggers, which includes stress, indoor and outdoor pollutions, irritants, temperature changes, allergens, clothing, soap, and detergents. So the second question I wanted to talk to you guys about is what kind of weather flares eczema? Now, any type of weather that causes drying and irritation to the skin can cause eczema. The most importantly, it's the change in weather and change in temperature that makes eczema worse. For example, cold, windy winters are probably when we see most of our eczema flares, because this type of weather really causes moisture to escape from our skin, making it dry, itchy, and easier to get inflamed. Hot and dry desert climates can also be pretty tough for eczema because not only do you have the drying component, the heat also causes people to sweat, and sweat can be irritating to the skin and cause even more itching. That being said, there are many factors that can cause eczema to flare, and many of which the doctors and scientists are still working to discover. So weather change is likely to be only a very small piece of the puzzle for eczema. The best climate for eczema people is actually moderate temperature between 60 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit and moderate humidity for about 65 to 70%. The third question I wanted to discuss is what is the toughest part about treating eczema? So I think this is a pretty tough question in itself because despite all having been diagnosed with eczema, every patient is so unique in their own ways. I would probably say the toughest part about treating eczema is treating what's more than skin deep. There are several reasons for treatment failure in eczema, just to name a few. Probably one of the top on the list is family dynamics. So eczema is not just a disease affecting the patient alone. Since most eczema patients are kids, the family dynamic is inevitably affected. We know that families that have kids with eczema are more stressed and have lower quality of life than those families with healthy kids. So addressing mood and social issues in the family may be tough, but can be very beneficial in treating eczema. The second one is sleep. Now this is very important. Getting the kids a good night of sleep is really important because most of the patients wake up several times throughout the night or have difficulty falling asleep because of itching and scratching. Then they're tired at work and at school, which affects their performance and causes anxiety. So as we know, the mind and body connection is really powerful, and stress and anxiety can make eczema symptoms worse. And anxiety is definitely a strong trigger for eczema to flare. So helping the patients to get a good night of sleep, sometimes with antihistamine or relaxation methods, is one of the best ways to improve eczema.